You know, if you keep attracting broken people, you might need some fixing yourself, but you also might be real good at fixing other broken people, right? There are clues everywhere. There are constantly synchronicities. The universe talks to us in every action, everything we see, everything that happens. It's constantly trying to make the cogs come together in the giant machine to create these opportunities that move in front of us, like Inception or a Doctor Strange thing. Like, you can literally see the reality shifting as we make changes. We are shifting lines in our string theory universe as we are making choices. Hello, and welcome. My name is Lee Kara. This is Unleash Your Light. Yes, I've decided everything is Unleash Your Light. The point is to see ourselves as the whole all the time. If we can do that, if you saw yourself going through the level of pain that your jerk friend is. So we were talking earlier, there's a jerk friend treating you bad, talking to you bad. You're thinking, you know, screw this girl, I'm out of here. Or screw this guy, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not putting up with this abuse. Lift yourself out. This is practical advice. Lift yourself into the observer and look at them objectively, as if they were you. Get in them. What would motivate you to act this way, to speak this way, to go through this? It's the life that they've led that has created these reactions, projections, and protections against the world. Okay? So when you can lift yourself into the observer, like watching a movie, watching a soap opera, you can see their backstory. You know their origin story. And again, you don't have to actually know their origin story to be able to create one for them, to be able to recognize the empathy, the energy, and the pain that that person must carry to attack you, right? Now, accountability is a whole different thing, and I've done lots of shows on that. I'm sure you can find them on the Unleash Your Light page if you link up there, but we're not going into accountability today. We're talking about oneness, recognizing that that person is you, right? So now that you can see their motivation, now that you watch their origin story, you watch their backstory in your mind, even if you think you're making it up, the universe is showing you someone's story who acts like that, because everything exists, it already exists, all that kind of good universal stuff. Now, when they act that way, you can see it differently. And should you choose to still walk away from that person, you aren't walking away in the energy of separation. That person is separate from me. You're walking away in almost like, I never liked it, oh, I allow you. I don't like to feel like I'm giving them permission to exist. You're not. But basically, you're going to let that piece of you live out their life in the way they want, but you're not going to be involved anymore. I'm going to go over here, you know. But I love you, and I wish you well. You can walk away from that energetically in a way that honors the piece of you that is going through that difficult time, the piece of you that was motivated to treat you so badly. Now our role, after we have chosen, stay, go, we've seen their empathetic story, we get that they act that way because they got locked in a closet when they were a kid. Who knows? All of us have our stories. Those of you out there that are like this, I swear to God, if we don't start recognizing how much we damage our children without realizing it, we could be changing the next generation right now. And I am hopeful and believing and having faith that we are doing that with this giant wave of Gen Zs who are so open-minded and so open-hearted and so accepting of the gifts that they bring into the world. So that's a little aside. Okay, so we have somebody hurts us, we've lifted into the observer position. We've looked at them, we've looked at their backstory, we've created a soap opera for them, the universe has shown it, whatever. We have felt it as if we are them. We understand that the pain that they went through. It does not excuse the actions that they took. However, now you see them differently, okay? So now you choose to either stay friends, have a talk, or step away, okay? But after you make peace with it, because that's you, you need to know why this piece of you is acting towards you this way, okay? Because that's how we start to experience the oneness, is by connecting to the journey of others as us, okay? That's the point of this video, right? Oneness. Oneness, put it in quotes. So now you have to look at yourself. Now you have learned all of the pain that your friend has gone through. And you think, wow, I can relate to that. I get that. I get that she was locked in a closet, so she attacks when she feels like she's backed in a corner. I get that. I didn't mean to do that. Then you can be accountable if you want to continue. And even if you walk away, you still be accountable, because you can have those energetic conversations with people to like fix things without having a physical conversation with someone. You can do that. Because the forgiveness is always for you. It's not for them. It's not for them. The closure is for you. It's not for that person over there. That person over there has to work with their own closure. It's always nice when two people can get it together. It doesn't always work that way. And if you leave it open, then you constantly have this festering wound, like we talked about, with the blister underneath the skin, with the giant, thorn that's still under there, giving you pain, because you did not close out this relationship even energetically. You weren't able to heal, you weren't able to get the message, you weren't able to love, whatever it is. You weren't able to have empathy for the other side. I don't know, there's lots of requirements for it that each one of us determines is okay before we move on. For me, forgiveness is the number one thing. Number one thing. Holding on to pain makes you keep experiencing it over and over and over again in your life. So the practical part of this then goes back and has to kind of put together their experience with our experience, to recognize the oneness, to recognize that that is us, to see others as if they are us, right? They are on the exact same mission we are. Some of them just don't know it. They're supposed to learn how to love. They're supposed to learn how to embrace kindness for themselves, kindness for others, just like we are. Every single human is tasked with the same basic purpose. Learn how to embody the love of the universe, God's love, and express it to others. Every single religion for every single time period has told us that the whole purpose of this is to access the energy of God through his love, through his acts, through his works, whatever you want to call it. I don't know all the religions. I'm not the theology girl either. I'm just saying they all have a common theme, and that common theme is to love others as you love yourself. Love others as God loves you. That was the last thing Jesus said, wasn't it? Love each other as I have loved you. I don't know that that's the exact quote. Again, I'm not the theology girl, but it sounds real familiar. And if that is our purpose, then the key to doing that is to recognize that every single person is the ocean. Each one of us is a drop of the ocean. And when it's separate from the ocean, yes, it's a drop. But it is also still the ocean, because when it goes back and it is the ocean. It's not a drop in the ocean. It becomes the ocean. It cannot be extricated in that way again. Right? So this energy that we are carrying, we have to recognize that it is the energy of the universe, that it is the energy of God, that each one of us, if we were acting as if we were God, if we are always trying to act as if we have the responsibility that God carries traditionally in our society, we pray to God and we want God to save us. Some of us pray to God and ask God to help us see this, to help us see that. And yet it is our own energy that we are praying for. And it is the collective energy that continues to create. It is all of the things working together. And we are the thing that will expand that access to everything working together through the amplification of unconditional love. And the way to amplification of unconditional love is oneness. Because you cannot be mad and hold hate in your heart for someone that you see as you, unless you hate yourself. You cannot have hate for another person unless you really have hate for yourself. You might not hate all of you. but you are carrying a level of anger and rage that expresses itself as hatred towards another person. And this is not a judgment. Everybody can stay in whatever energy they want to. I'm not telling nobody to do nothing. I'm just talking about what the universe is telling me. Please, everybody's on their own journey. But what we see in the world, yes, it exists, but it is also a reflection of things in us. The world we choose to see, because now we have multiple versions of reality. The world we choose to see is an expression of something in us that needs healing. If you look around your world and you see only pain and evil and conspiracies and heartbreak and killings, there is a reason that you are being shown all of this, and it is because there's stuff in you that needs to be healed. Because you are looking at these things and seeing the people that you see as the perpetrators as something that is not you. And yet you are the perpetrator. You are the one doing that as well. That is an expression of you. And that is an expression of God. That is it. That person who's making you so mad is an expression of God. In the same way that you are. Again, shaped by what they've been through. So when we can start learning to see everything, every person in the world as just an expression of us, almost putting on a play for ourselves, then we see the actions that those people take very differently. We internalize them very differently, and we can react to them with unconditional love, with the energy of healing, however you want, with sending them good vibes, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, whatever your semantics are, y'all know I don't get hung up on that.